Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Heavenly Father, Most High God, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, I am the Ancients of Days. And Lord, say thank you. Father, Lord, as we are going to start, we pray, start with us in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Father, Lord, any problem, we cancel it out in the mighty name of Jesus. For Jesus' most mighty name, we pray.
Amen. All right. Thank you so much for our prayer. All right. So, did you practice what we did yesterday? Hello? All right. So today we'll be creating a game, and it's more like the game is going to be like a rocket game. Okay. So okay. All right. So in the rocket game, let me close this out. Let me just share one of the game we'll be creating. Mhm. So I'm coming. Let me just show us the game we'll be creating. So I believe you practiced what we did yesterday, right? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I said I hope you practiced yesterday what we did.
So I went to go and chat the system.
Okay, it's fine. So this is the laptop. I said this is the game we'll be creating. This actually was created by some of like people, some of our previous bootcamp. Okay, so let me play it. It's more like you shoot. You can see, right? There are obstacles coming, and so when the bomb reaches there, it's when it touches, it's not game over. So you see that our sprite has the ability to move right and what and left, but it can still go up if you want. So it can go up, can go down, right? Can go left, can go
Yes,
right.
sir.
And you can see that our stones or the rocks they come from up, Abi. And you can see that
Yes,
anytime maybe the bomb touches any of them, you will have a point, right? So that is a point gain for that. So that is typically what we'll be creating today. So so we'll just learn some things about it, and that will be all. Okay. So are we together?
yes, sir.
All right. So now, initially, I wanted to draw the whiteboard, how we implement it, but at least you have an idea that the sprite has to move left, can move right, can go up, it can come down, right? So
Yes, sir.
let's work with that. So the first thing is to go and pick our sprite. Um, think is in space. Let me just type it here. Another space equals something.
It's it's either in. I've seen my own.
Okay, where's your own?
It's in space.
Okay. What's the name on your own? There's a name. The sprite has a name.
Galaxy. Galaxy.
No,
No, it's the background.
It's the background. Don't worry. I want to get the. Uh, okay. So let me get the rocket first. So let's try and look for the rocket. Hmm. Okay, see it here, rocket ship. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get that. Then we'll also get the stone. You go to R just as I'm scrolling down. See rocks. So because we need the rocks, right? All right. Then for um for our background, we go to space because our background has to match what we're doing, right? So you have this, depending on the one you like. So I'll still add one more. I believe you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is now our backdrop. So I'm going to delete this. You know how we did that? Well, who wants to be a millionaire? You know, you can click create your play button here, something like this, space travel, so thing, right? The intro. Then you put your play button. You can do that, but I won't do that today. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
I believe you know how to implement that by now. The play button that we did. So you can do the introduction for it. Um, Sound, I don't know. Okay, let's just find the sound. Uh, Let me see if I can import one. So I will check my files if I have anyone that is a bit reasonable. Let me see. I think is this at the okay. But you can pick sound from your library, okay? From here. You can pick anyone that you like. Uh, okay, they have space sound.
The space noise.
Huh?
Space noise.
Space.
Noise.
Okay, this one is better. Okay, you can. I think this one looks cool. But let me play this one I installed. I, what do you think about this one?
Even this one too.
Okay, I imported this one from my own library. Okay. So I want to, okay, let's continue. So we have sound. I'll call this one maybe background. Okay. Then we'll go to the background. When flag is clicked, this, then we'll start our sound. Okay. We'll change it to this stars. Then we'll go to forever. Then we'll play space this one. Uh, so, so that once the background is clicked, you see, I think we need to reduce the sound. Maybe by,
I said okay. Oh.
it's okay like that.
Yes.
Okay. It's so that I can be hearing it. Yes. Let me reduce it a bit. But you can still leave it as 100, but it's just, we're having a call, so that I can be hearing it. Okay. So I think we are set now, right? We'll have our background music at the back. Then we switch to this particular backdrop, right? So we might be changing levels, then we switch backgrounds, okay?
sir, the rocket ship, should I reduce the size?
Yes, we have to reduce it. So you have to be doing your program step by step, right? So you can pick somewhere and start. So we are done with our background. I think there's nothing we are doing for now. Abi? So we'll go to the rocket ship. As you said, we need to reduce it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So to do that, we say when flag is clicked, we'll set the original size. I think it's in look, right? Change set size by what? So what value do you think it will be good?
Let me check.
Okay.
50.
Okay. That's good. So 50. So we'll have this. All right. So this is 50. Okay. All right. So now we want, that this has a lot of costume, right? You have this one, you have this one, you have this one, you have this one, you have this one. So we always set it to this first one, rocket ship A. So we switch it to rocket ship A, right? Then we would like it to be at this position, right? Maybe towards the center. Uh, so we'll just push it to go to this position. Put it on X0, right? Okay. I think it's better now, right? Or should we bring it down a bit?
Yes,
Like this is okay.
yes, it's okay.
So 146. All right. So we have that now, right? So when flag is clicked, it will come here and stay. Now, we have to implement moving left, moving right on our keyboard, right? Using the arrow keys so I can go up and go down, right? So
Yes,
we will now come here. Remember where we did events? Do you remember this? When we say when a key is pressed, right? So we'll come here when a key is pressed. Let's say what key is this? Maybe right arrow. That's the right arrow. If right arrow is clicked, which direction will it be going on the x-axis?
right,
Right, right. So we change the
right,
x-axis, yeah, to the right. So we change the x-axis by a positive what value, right? So now we switch this and say left arrow. To the left, what values do you have?
minus
Minus.
4.
No, to the left will be negative value. So that means we'll be changing x by a negative what value, right? So
Yes,
you remember the Cartesian plane we did?
yes, sir.
Okay, so whenever you're programming, you ensure that you select the sprite you're working on. That is why this is highlighted. You can see. So we have done up and down. So let me do right and left. You see, when I press it, it activates, right? You can
Yes,
see
sir.
now. Okay, if you want it to be a bit faster, you can increase the value. So, but maybe let's just make it 15, 15 or so. Okay, so let's see. All right, so we want to implement going up and going down, right? So what do you think we should do?
Up.
To go up, what axis are we going if we are going up?
Y.
All right, so what will be changing? What axis will be changing?
The the X.
No, you see,
Diagonally.
yes, money. You said we are going up, right? And what axis is that?
Y axis.
So if I push this, what axis change? The y-axis, right?
So it's X axis. No,
So
that is X axis.
going up like this is y-axis. Remember, x-axis is horizontal. So that means that y will be changing value every single time. So we'll be changing the y by a certain amount, say 10. And we say that going up is positive values, right? Going down, what do you have? Negative value. So I'll bring this down, change this to arrow down. Then this will be minus 10. Turn it that way. So this is this. Then, all right. So you have this. So we've been able to implement this. That means our sprite can now go up, right? Can go up, go left, go right. Abi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So literally, we don't have anything to do now. We've fully implemented and the rocket, so it's complete for now. So the next thing now is to look at the rock and the rocks. Okay. Now, Christabel, what do you think about the rock?
You should reduce
We should reduce it, right?
the size.
Okay. So what size?
Um,
Why do you put it in this thing? Oh, it's not in auto replay. It's not in auto
mm,
replay. Yeah. Yeah, give me that.
So let's use 60%. Okay. I think it's okay like this, right?
The absence.
All right. So now you know that our what's it called? Our sprite will be coming from this location, right? Like it looks like it used to come out from inside. If you see the other this thing that I played for you. Let me see if I can open that.
yes,
Um, where is that? Let me open another instance. So it looks like it comes out from here. So what we'll do is, it moves, it's coming out randomly, either from here to here, right? This,
yes, sir.
so we cannot, if we can actually predict it, it will not make sense, right? So we'll set its positioning to be unique. Now remember where we say go to. Now, the particular height of y remains the same because the height of y does not change. So it might be somewhere inside like this. So y will not change. It's the x that will be changing, right? The position it will appear. It might start to appear here. What changes x? Here, what changes x, right? So we might leave it here at 200 so that it stays inside. Okay, so let me open the other program so that we can have a reference point.
Jesus!
All right, so when you start it, you see that it's coming out from a random point. Do you see different positions? You can't predict where it's coming from. Can you see? It's
Yes, sir.
it's unpredictable. So that way you have to now use we have to now
Jesus.
use pick a random position. Okay. So but now if you do this, look at that place that we said, that is outside. This one, if we do random position for this one, it moves from any location, but that is not where we want it. We want it to be coming from up. So we'll not use this one. Then we'll use this, I think it's here, see it here, this value here, pick random. You remember this? We give it a value to just pick
Yes,
this in a range. So I'm going to take it to somewhere here. Let me see. Maybe -2. Let's say -237. Then to the right side, end extreme. Let's say the extreme. Okay. So we can do 248. Okay. This 200. 248. But let me check the value here. Okay, this is 29212. All right. I guess we need this thing to be a bit visible, right? So that the person can see it when it's coming, not that it's hidden a bit. You understand what I'm saying? The rock has to come full
yes,
to something like this. Let's get this exact point. This is around 202. So we use 219 for this. Then this is around -211. Okay. So you will see that if I click this anytime when this program starts, you see it to come from different angles. Can you see it?
yes,
You see
sir.
it? So it will be picking along the X axis, it will be changing direction. So now the thing is, you know, it will come where? Towards this guy, right? So when it's
Yes,
coming,
sir.
the idea is it should be falling down because the rock has to be coming down. So we now have to use the X will be changing, the Y will be changing. So I'll come here and say, change Y, change Y. Well, if you're going down the Y, what is it called? The Y axis, what value are you going to? Which direction? Going down, what will be your values?
Minus
Minus
10.
Y.
Minus Y. So Y will be reducing. So this is what I'm trying to say now. We can reduce it by 10. So see what will happen. You see, anytime I click, it starts coming down, right? Can you
Yes,
see?
sir.
But will I stay and be clicking this every time?
No.
No.
So what do we use to implement that? To make it to be just to be running this particular change my X by -10. We discussed something that day that I told you that if you want something to be happening over and over again, what do you use?
Forever loop.
You use a loop, and in this case, it's the forever.
You better repeat. Oh,
You can use repeat, but depending on here, we don't have the number of times we will tell him, or you can use repeat depending on a certain condition, right? So, for
yes.
example, now you can decide to use this and say it should repeat until it's touching this person. Okay. So that means if it does not touch this person, it will keep going down. But we'll still write another condition to help because when it reaches somewhere here, it should not be visible. So just watch what I want to do now. You see, are you seeing it? You can see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh, so now you see if it comes here now, it's if you reach the bottom here, what happens? It stays, right? It can't go back again. So, but if you notice this program here, you see that it used to be plenty, like there are a lot of them. Can you see? Can you see? Like it's more than
Yes,
one.
sir.
So remember that day I taught you what I think some of you did not join that call that day. I taught about clones. I told you that a clone is just a replica of a particular object, like something like okay, let me just use that a human being, somebody like to duplicate yourself again. You've made photocopies, right? Before.
Yes, sir.
When you make photocopies, you're expecting exactly what's on the document that you photocopied to be on the paper you made, right? So that is the
Yes,
idea. Just like duplicating your sprite. So the clone, that is what the clone does. So that's what we'll do. We'll be duplicating this our clone. I think yeah. So it's in control here. So we can say, look at this, delete and create clone of myself. You can do clone of rocket ship, but what we want to create a clone of is what? Rock, right? So if I click this, though you're not seeing anything, but look, do you see? They are now two. Do you see? Are you seeing it?
yes, sir.
You will not even know which one is the real this thing. Then if you want to delete it, you can delete this particular clone. So this is used to delete the particular clone. But in this case now, we can't select it. But you can do this when I start as a clone. So this will, let me just stop this. So immediately you create clone, it will delete. You see? So let me just add a wait, like 1 second. Then you will now see what I'm saying. Okay. Maybe 2 seconds so that it will allow me pick it. That's gone to delete very fast. So you see, it will soon delete now once it's 5 seconds. You see it now, right? So that way we can be able to delete all these clones. So we have to be creating replicas of this. Now, the thing is, we need all this. The thing is, we don't want to delete the original sprite, right? So we want the sprite here. When it comes here, it will appear here. Then it will make a duplicate of itself. Then that one will come. Are you getting me? But the original sprite will always stay up here. Do you get? So it will be changing position and making duplicates. So that way now we have to come here and then put it inside here. Then we'll be hiding this our clone, the original sprite. So we'll first of all show it. Then after um okay, after this, then we'll now make it to create a clone of itself. Okay, I think it should be after. All right, after it creates a clone of itself, then it hides. So it should be like this. Okay. So see what will happen now. Once I click, do you see there are a lot of them, right? So now we have to put a little bit of delay um to to all right. So when you have this now, we have to put a little bit of delay here. Okay? So maybe 1 second. So you see. So now, are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll now we'll now do this now. So now the issue is, you see, if you start it, it's not changing direction, right? If you start it, it's not changing, like it's just duplicating, but it's not coming down. The reason is
Yes.
because the clone now, we are not able to control it. You can only control the clone when it is already created. Are you getting it? So that is when you can be able to control the clone. So when you control the clone is when you can tell him to go. So for now, I will tell him that he should repeat. Okay, it should keep coming down. Hmm? It should keep coming down. Okay, until it's touching this what? This what is it called? This rocket ship. Okay. So you know that the idea is, if it's coming down, if you touch this rocket ship, it will be game over, right? Let me
Yes.
make it close so that it can touch one. Oh, okay. So you see, immediately it touches it, it's now game over, right? So we'll now
Yes.
we'll now have to show the clone, because we hid it. After this, when it's created, it will be hidden. So we have to show it. Okay. Then while it's changing direction, we'll tell it that repeat until it's coming down. So what it means is that until it's touching, what is it touching? This particular rocket ship, right? Huh? It should keep coming down unless it's touching what? The rocket ship. Abi? So when I start this, you see it's coming down, right? Can you see it?
Yes.
So anytime the clone touches, all right.
Hi.
So you can now see that the clones are now coming down. They are now gathering at this edge, right? Which is not good. You understand? We are not supposed to be seeing them. When they reach here, we are supposed to have an idea that, in space, there is no end, right? It's assumed that if something is passing, it should keep passing down. You get what I'm trying to say? So what we can do now, hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, the idea is these rocks are coming down like this. They will enter, like they will pass through. You get? But now, if you see here now, they are gathering in this place. We don't need this, right? So, because they are touching, they are at the edge. So, what we'll do is, what do you think we should do to them so that we'll give an idea that maybe like they passed? Hello?
You should think.
If this thing passes here, will you see it again? Will it be visible to the user again? Huh?
Not supposed to be seeing.
You're not supposed to be seeing it. So what do you use to hide it?
I don't know.
Ah. I've taught you about hide button now. Is this not hide? Have you forgotten that we use hide to hide something? Is it not what we used here? This is the original sprite. We'll now hide it after that's created a clone. Then we'll now show the clone later on. Is that not so? So you come here now and use a condition. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So now we have to use a condition and say if this particular clone is touching the edge of this um the edge of this stage, we should hide it. So we go to sensing. It's in sensing, you do it, see it touching, you pick it and say if it's touching what? The edge. Can you see?
Right.
Then you should what?
Yes, sir.
You should hide. Do you see? Anyone that touches the edge now is going to what? To hide. Can you see?
Hide.
Now,
Yes, sir.
we've successfully done this. Now, you see that if like in this case now, in this case, you see that the rock is touching what? What? The sprite, right?
Yes, sir.
And in this case, what should this be? This is when the game should end, Abby.
Yes, sir.
So that means that he said repeat until touching rocket ship. So that means to keep going down. And if it's touching the rocket ship, what should not happen?
Game over.
Game over, right? So we'll create a broadcast and say game over. So we'll create a broadcast here and call it game what? Over.
Over.
Okay. So in that game over, um, we can now stop the whole script. That means the whole script. After that, the whole script should now stop, right? So you see it now, it will stop the whole script. Once it touches it, let me stop this. So, watch what will happen once it touches it. You see it stops. Can you see? So
Yes, sir.
now, definitely we don't want the user to be able to move our sprite too, right? So we say when I receive game over two, then I stop my own what? Script. Do you see? So in this case now, there is game over. Let me go here and start this. Sure. Oh, fast now. So you see, now that is game over. Now, but we need to show them that the game is now over, Abi, so that the user will know that the game is what? Is over, Abi.
Over.
So we need to bring out a write-up, just as how we did yesterday. We'll paint our own sprites. We'll create it, and that is this, using this. You come here is a text, so we might possibly use the color red. I don't like, okay. So I'll say game what? Over. Okay. So you can increase it by dragging the size. See, you can just drag it, how big you want it to look like. Hmm? Now remember that anytime you create your sprite, I told you yesterday that you see this plus sign here. Do you see it? You should go and make sure
Yes,
that
sir.
it aligns here so that, see now, I can't even drag this. Can you see? Even if I drag it, it's not balancing well. Can you see it? I'm finding it difficult to drag it. But when you put it in the center here, it will balance according to the sprite. So you see, it's now easier to move. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is our game over sprite. So we'll call this game what? Over.
Over.
So whenever we receive game over, um, we say that when we don't want to be showing it when it starts. So we'll hide it, Abby. We'll hide it when the program starts. Do you want to be seeing game over when the program just starts?
No.
So we'll hide it first, right? Then
Yes, sir.
when it's received game over, it should now what? It should now show, right? Where is show? So whenever the game is over, it will now show. So you see when I start it, do you see it? It now what? Appears, right? So that is the work of the game over now. We can make sure that we put it at this point so that the user does not mistakenly, like now if I drag this thing, it will go out from this position. So let's drop it always at this point. So, for example, let me even do it like this now. You see that, you see, it will always come back to this point, okay? So it will always be at this center. All right, so that is it for game over now. But we know that the idea is the rocket should be able to shoot like a weapon, right? And if you can see that as it's shooting, it's the point, we are gaining points here. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So we'll now learn how to create the weapon for it now. That is what we'll be doing now. Now to create our weapon, we have to come here and all right. So we'll now paint it, right? So we have to create our own sprite because you don't have any sprite here that is like circle, aside that looks like a bomb. You can decide to use this ball if you choose. Okay, you can still decide to use the ball. I prefer we'll just create our own. Okay, make our own look unique. Okay, so mm, so I'll come here. This is how to paint it. This circle here, I'll pick it. Then I want to make it transparent. Okay, or let me just draw the circle. So you know that a circle is almost like a square, right? So you have to make it look balanced. So now notice something. You see that, let me select. I can adjust the size of my circle. So it becomes more like a square. Okay. Now, if you notice something, you see at the edge here is cut. It looks like it distorted it here. But here in your diagram, it's showing fully, right? Can you see it? Yeah, it looks like it's.
Yes, sir.
So you have to drag it to this center. But let me just leave it there for now. So I want the outline not to be red like this. You can color your own to be blue. It can be anything. So I would just like it to be, let the outline, when we mean the outline is the outside, like this border, that yellow, that blue you're seeing now is the border. So I want it to have a color, possibly like orange. Okay. Something that looks like fire, right? So that will be the border of this. So you select it, then you choose the border, something that looks like fire. Okay. So you have this, and you can select the thickness of the border. You see, the more I increase it, the more thick it becomes, right? So I can maybe make it 19. You see how thick it is in 19? Can make it 5. I think 5 is okay. Then now I don't want this red. Red is the background color. That is the inside. You come here. I'll change it to white. I'll just drag it here. Oh, okay. Let me select the sprite. Okay, so you now see it looks like this, right? Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we'll now go to write the program. If you notice here, you see that anytime this bomb is pressed, there is a space bar. When I'm clicking the space bar is when it comes out. Okay? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
You can see the space bar program running when I click it. Okay? So now it will, okay, let me go back to, now you see that when it's clicked, it will come like, it will look like it's coming from the rocket, right? But you and I know that it's not inside the rocket, Abi. It's not inside the rocket. The rocket does not have the bullet inside. Is that not true? Does it have it? This is the bomb here. The bomb is separate, right? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So the bomb is on its own, is a sprite on its own, but the rocket is on its own. But I want to make it look like it's as if it's coming from the rocket itself, Abi. So what we'll do is, at first, you only need to see this bomb when the spacebar is pressed. So most times when the program starts, it usually be hidden, right? So we'll hide it first. So we'll keep it hidden. But now this thing looks very big. What do you think? We should reduce it, Abi. So we'll set the size to 50. I'll do half of it. So that way now, you see, though you cannot see it again, but let me just see it. I think this our ball is too big, oh. So let me make it around 30. So we can still see it. Okay. 40 or 35 is a bit reasonable. Less. That looks so small. Okay, so that size is okay. 35. All right. So when you have this now, okay, now normally it will be hidden. So we want that when this spacebar is created, remember, this is the original sprite, right? This is the original sprite. So that means just as we did with the rock, it should be duplicating itself, okay? Because we'll be requiring more than one of the sprite. So that means we have to create clone of this sprite. So when the spacebar is clicked, it's going to create its own clone. The clone is in control. Create the clone itself. Then when it starts as a clone, okay, when the clone starts, we would like to show it. Remember that this thing is hidden. So we would like to show it. Then we want it to come here into the, what's it called? Into what?
Rocket.
The rocket. So you will now come here and say, go to mouse point, go to not random position, but who? The what? The rocket ship. So now watch what will happen now. Let me press it. Let me start it first. So this is the original now. So let me start it. When I press the space key, see what will happen. Do you see it? So there are a lot of clones here, though you might not see it. Let me shift this now. Press it again. You see it now. I seen it. So it's working, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
we want it to now when they press this space key, the idea is the bullet should start going up, Abi. Abi?
Yes, sir.
So like it's shooting. So going up, if the bullet is going to go up, what direction is it going?
Y-axis.
So y-axis, is it positive or negative?
Positive.
So we use this loop, we say repeat, it should repeat now until it's touching this edge, right? So we say repeat until it's what? Touching what? We go to sensing and say until it's touching the what? The edge, right? So it will be changing what's it called? The Y by maybe 10. So see it now. When I press spacebar, do you see it? So see it. Now, if it's touching the spacebar, what should happen to it now? Should
You
we
should
be
hide.
should hide, right? So that means you see it says repeat until touching space and until touching the edge, then it should be moving by 10, increasing y by 10. That means that when it's not touching the edge, this loop will stop working, right? So we'll now what? We'll now hide it here. Okay? So we'll now what? We'll now hide it. So now see. Do you see it? Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it now looks like we have run out of what is it called? The bomb, Abby. Wait. Okay. So we'll just delete it because there's no need to hide it. Eh? We'll delete what? The clone because we don't need it again, Abby. So we'll delete it instead of hiding it. So now see. So right this way, if you're able to delete it, we can be able to create more. Are you seeing it now? Unlike before, if you do hide, it will go there and get stocked up. So we'll just delete it once it's touching the edge. We don't need it. You know why? If it's touching, the reason why we need to delete it if it's touching the edge is because those rocks could be coming here. Hmm? They'll be coming here too. So most times, let it not be that, we have an idea that they are coming downwards. So they might crash inside too, right? So most times we just delete them so that they don't pile up here and not allow the rocks to be coming down. Because if you leave them to pile up here and stay hidden, sometimes the rocks can come here and then what? Have contact with them. So you can just delete those things there. Now, that is one aspect of this. Okay. All right. So another thing is when it also receives game over, it should stop everything it does. So we'll stop all the script. So we'll stop all the script. So our bomb is ready, right? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So far, any question? Any question so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ask please.
Sir, please, I don't understand how you made the bomb.
How I did what?
Made the bomb.
I said when you come here, this is how, if you want to create your own sprite, you come to this paint. This is the arrow, paint. It's when you click it, it will open this place. Yesterday we did triangle and rectangle here. See it here. There is line here. You can do freestyle. This for freestyle. This is like eraser. This is text. This is a reshape too. Whenever maybe you create a shape, you can use it to reshape it. This circle. If you want to draw a circle, you click this. You click on your canvas here and just okay. This thing, make sure you pick a color so that you can see what you're doing. So when you have that now, you draw the circle. You can draw the circle to what you want. Okay, this is hanging. Okay. Okay, sorry. Anytime you want to select, you click on this. So you can now select this. Now you can now decide to increase it. You can decide to adjust it. You can do anything you want to do. Okay. But in our case now, I said I don't want it to be red in color. I want it to look like there is fire around the the ball. So I came here after I selected the ball. I gave it an outer border of maybe looking like fire, yellow, somehow yellow. Then this thing I set it to white. Then the border, which is the outline, you see the yellow is very faint. I had to increase it. As I'm increasing, you can see to like 5, and that is all. So you can now adjust it a bit. Okay. Is there any question? Christabel,
No, sir.
do you now understand how we did it?
Yes, sir.
Now you see something awkward about this ball. It's not obeying gravity a bit. There's a way it's moving. I don't know whether you're noticing it. It's not going straight as per straight. There's a way it's moving. The reason why it's doing like that is because it's not at the center. You see where the ball is now, Abi? So watch how
Yes,
the
sir.
ball is moving. Then when I put it at the center, you'll now see the difference. You see how smooth it's moving now.
Yes, sir.
So anytime you draw your sprite, always put it in this center here, this place. Let make sure that the plus here and this particular center icon they align. Immediately you bring it, you see to just lock. So make sure you do that. All right. So our program is almost ready. So now, game over. Okay. So now, but why is it that we are pressing the bomb and it's not killing the what's it called? The rock? It's more like it's just passing through it. Are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So why is it doing like that? And remember that here, um when the what's it called?
Bomb.
When the bomb, yes, when the bomb is touching it, then we used to get our score used to increase here. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Now, if you see something here, you see that anytime the bomb touches the rock, mm, I'm not a fan of games, but let me just try. You see that it's as if the rock and this thing used to disappear. Do you notice it? Both the bullet and the rock would disappear. Did you notice it? Do you see it? You're seeing it? It's getting harder. Do you see it?
Yes, sir.
Immediately touch it, it will disappear. So now it's here. That is when we now come here to this bomb and say, when this clone that we're sending, if it's also if touching, if it's let me bring this thing down. Okay, somewhere here. If it's touching what? The rock, right? Huh? If it's touching the
Yes,
rock,
sir.
we want it to hide. Okay. We now what? We now what? We now hide it.
I.
So see? Oh. So it's hiding, oh, just that when it touch the sprite now, it now become game over. See, it will hide, right? So it will hide. So this is it. It will hide it. When touching rocks, hide. But now we need to give a command that when a rock touches this thing, the rock too should hide, Abby. So we'll come here. Remember when we did this place, if touching edge too. Do you see this? Do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
So I'll drag it and duplicate it. So I'll change it now. I'll now say that if it's touching what? The bomb, right? It should also hide. So now watch. So you see it. So it will hide. Okay? If it's touching what? The bomb. Okay? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Now the issue now is see this case here now. You will see that even though it touches the bomb, it still comes more like it resists it. Do you see it? Just watch closely. You see it's like it's resisting it. Did you notice it? So what
Yes,
we
sir.
do is, instead of hiding this our rock this time, we just delete it. Let's delete the clone entirely so that it does not exist again. Okay? You delete the clone. So we delete it and not hide it. You see now? Can you see it? You can see it is now working, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, now you see that what's remaining in our game is one thing. Abi, what's remaining? That makes it different from this one now. It's what? This one has a score, right? Because here now, even though it's hitting the rock, we are not having any score, right? It's more like the person is just playing for fun. Abi?
Yes, sir.
Fortuno and Danny, are you on this call? Fortuno and Daniel,
Yes, sir.
are you following?
Yes. No, wait, sir. Empty. How do you make the rocks to be falling everywhere?
I'll come back to that. You came late. I'll come back to that. All right. So pay attention first. So now you see that we need to have our score here. So how do we create the score now?
We use paint,
We use what?
paint.
What is 10? I mean, if you want to
We create
implement
it.
score, how do you implement it?
We create it
And how do you create the score?
using paint.
No, now. Paint is for sprite. Remember that day I told you you use variables here. This is not variables. This is where you create variables. We say that variables are used to store value. We want to be storing our scores inside a variable. Is that not so? Huh? Yeah, even yesterday we created variables here. So we'll be creating our variable here called score. Okay. I'm going to delete this one. So, and whenever this game starts, I think I'll do it in the background there. Whenever the game starts, it should set our score to 0. Then the time we should have increased the score is anytime the bomb is touching what? The rock, right? That is the only time we should now have a score. We update the score. Is that not so? So you can come here. We use this change score. We change the score here. You can decide to give it a value to be changing if it's by 10, if it's by 20, depending. So when you come here now, you see your score keep increasing. Okay. So you see I'm in 30. So I can get PS. So you see the score, anytime it's touching the rock, it will be what? It will be changing the score by what? By 10, right? So you can also use this. So I want to ensure that every time we show our variable, so I'll say show the variable score, then set it to this. So typically that is the program. You're actually done with it. There's there's nothing left again. So we've added the score to it. Okay. Now I would like to tell you something which I want you to use your hand and implement, which is level. You can do this game by level. Maybe if you say the person score 100, then um you can now remember we have two backdrops here, right? So we can switch to level two. The level two is this background. Then you can come here in the rocks here and say, if you notice that if I reduce the time, you see that the this thing will be coming very fast. Do you see? So we can do the level increase by timing, by checking how fast this time is. Okay. So we can increase the levels by time. So if I do it 0.2, you see that they will be coming down very fast. Almost. So what you do is you have to create a variable, maybe you call it speed. Huh? When you create that variable called speed, you always put it here. Then you will now make your if condition just like how they did here. Or let me just leave you. Implement this, try and implement this today. Then implement the level for the game. Let me see how you do it. So the level is done by increasing this time here. Whenever you change the time, if maybe the person score above 60 or depending on where you want, you say that any score above 60 or equal to 60 is level two. Then the speed here will increase. Okay, the speed here will now increase automatically. That means you have to create a speed variable and be updating it. Okay, so that is how you do it. Try and implement maybe 2 or 3 levels for this just to be adjusting the speed. The only thing that needs to be adjusted is the speed. That's what determines the level. Nothing much, nothing less. And is that well understood?
So how are we going to implement the level?
So if the call ends, you join back. The levels, that's what I explained now. I said, if you notice, in game, you used to have difficulty level, right? Wow, I did not
Yes,
see
sir.
if this work. Okay, in games, we used to have difficulty level. And the difficulty level in our game here is based on how fast these rocks are coming, right? So how fast these rocks are what? Are coming. You can decide that in the first level, let the speed be 2 seconds. You see that it will be coming very slowly. Okay. You can even reduce it, make it like 4 seconds, but to be very slow.